You've been strong for so long. You learn to carry this on your own. Let me be someone you can lean on. I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm right here. You don't have to be so strong. You don't have to be so
Hello, this is Lucas Palmeira from Imaginando, and I'm here to give you another tutorial on DRC. For today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make some sounds from the song Strong by the really talented Fred again, featuring Romy from DXX. So let's get right into it. Okay, so we've got 7 sounds to make, and the first one is this one. Kind of a lo-fi pad. I'm gonna turn off this equalizer for now. And this chorus ensemble, bring back the default patch, and let's get on with it. So first thing I'm going to do is drop the pre-gain to 705. Okay. Now let's raise oscillator 2 to maximum, go to oscillator 2, and detune it to 84. Raise the sub-oscillator to maximum and raise 1 octave. Okay, and now we go to the filter. First thing we do on the filter is drop the cutoff to 200. Okay. And now on the envelope generator 2 amount, we raise it to 641. This envelope generator 2 amount is the amount of this envelope generator modulating the cutoff filter in time. And resonance at 0. Now we go to the modulation page of the filter and drop the modulation of the keyboard to -717. This means that the higher the note, the lower the cutoff filter. Okay, so now first envelope generator, the one that modulates the amplitude, 262 for the attack, a decay of maximum, sustain at maximum, and a release of 419. Second envelope generator, we want 0 attack, 230 decay, 400 sustain, and 339 release. Okay. Now for some reverb, we got 645 on the decay. Damping of 806. Modulation of 448. And an amount, and a decay of 645. Now we got here the the audio effect of chorus ensemble on default values, but with the ensemble algorithm, basically giving a little bit more widening on the sound. And then we got this equalizer. This equalizer is basically a high-pass filter at 91.8 hertz. Then we got a low shelving filter of minus 6.32 dBs at around 59.9 hertz. Then we got a bell of minus 4.83 dBs at around 330 hertz. And finally, a high shelving at above 1.94 kilohertz of 4 dBs. And this is our back pad. Now let's go to the high strings. These are the high strings. I'm going to turn off the equalizer now and the chorus ensemble and bring back the default patch. Okay. As you can hear, there is some reverb here, and that reverb, I'm going to talk about it now just for a second, is basically a galactic choral hull. That is one of the new reverbs from Ableton, and then I filter the low end a little bit, but basically I'm using this reverb to increase the room a little bit of the sounds. So I'm gonna turn off the reverb for now. So let's bring back the default patch. As you can see on the sound before, I have a send of minus 15.3 dBs, and this one is at 0. So first thing I'm going to do is oscillator 2 at maximum, detune it to 104, master 762, pregain 391, and now envelope generator 2 amount at 878, cutoff filter at 690, resonance of 160, and now on the VCA page, this is modulation of the amplitude of the sound. We want keyboard at maximum. This means the higher the note, the higher the volume. First envelope generator, one controlling amplitude. We want 913 on the attack. Nine one 931, sorry. A decay of 500, which is default, 800 sustain default, 300 release default. Envelope generator 2, we have all values are default, so let's get on with it to the reverb. 742 for the reverb amount. $798 for the decay. A damping of 681. And a modulation of 339. Okay, so we got our patch. We can now turn on the chorus ensemble. And our equalizer, which is basically a high pass filter above 1.17 kilohertz, and then a high shelf of 7.31 dBs above 3.59 kilohertz. So here we have our high strings. Okay, and now let's go to the gated pad, next sound, which I'm going to increase the volume for now, so you can hear. As you can hear, this is I called it gated pad but I'm actually using a non-orthodox way to do it, which is instead normally a gate. What you call a gated pad is a sound that is playing continuously, and you cut out parts of it in rhythm, so it gives this staccato feeling of the sound. What I'm doing it a little bit different, which is using an arpeggiator to do the same effect. But the thing is that if you use arpeggiator to do a gated sound, it will sound off time, because it's not exactly on the same place that it would be if you were cutting it. So what I did was I used the track delay to basically push the track to play a little bit before, exactly minus 36 milliseconds. So now it will sound intended, like we intended in time. So I'm gonna turn off this delay modulator for now and bring back the default patch. Okay. And first thing that I'm going to do is drop the master to 500. Pre-gain at 375. Raise oscillator 2 to maximum. Drop 1 octave. Detune it to 84. Now raise the noise generator to 754. Okay, and now on the filter, we basically do nothing. It's all default values, but we want to go to the modulation page and raise the keyboard to 805. Okay. Now for the first envelope generator, we want an attack of 65. Decay 500, sustain 800, release 81. Second envelope generator, 0 to 30, it's all default values. So finally we go to the reverb, give it 335 amount, a decay of 685, damping 500, and modulation of 100. So we got our sound done. We just need to open our delay modulator, which has a time of 353, feedback of 100, which is default, depth of 237, a rate of 150, full wet, and we're not using the analog algorithm, we're using the dimension algorithm. So this is our gated pad. And now we can go to our Digi Flute. Okay. So let's bring back the default patch. Okay. And first thing I'm going to do is drop the pre-gain to 484. Oscillator 1 at 939. And now we go to the second. We change the first oscillator to a square, sorry, and raise the pulse width of the square wave to 6 to 1. Okay. And raise the second oscillator to maximum. No, basically, second oscillator is 0. Sorry, what we raise to maximum is the ring modulator. And since the ring modulator is operating between oscillator 1 and oscillator 2, as soon as we change oscillator 2, we're changing the result of the ring modulation. So what we want to do on the second oscillator is drop 1 octave and detune it to 68. Okay. Now raise the noise generator to 774. Perfect. Now on the filter, 379 for the envelope generator to amount. Drop the cutoff to 504. And let's go to the first envelope generator. So On the first envelope generator controlling the amplitude of the sound, we want the attack at 6 to 1. Decay and sustain are all default values, but release is at maximum. For the second envelope generator controlling the cutoff filter, we want an attack of 548. Decay to 30, sustain 400, all default, release 766. Okay. Now reverb, 572 amount. Decay of 548. And everything else is default. So here we have our Digi Flute. We now go to the bass. Don't mind this compressor. This is only doing a slightly bit of side chaining with the kick. So you have a little bit more space for the kick. I'm gonna turn off this equalizer, K70, and the delay modulator. And now we can bring back the default patch. Okay. And first thing I'm going to do is pre-gain at 524. Master at 866. Now raise the sub-oscillator to maximum and raise 1 octave. And sub-oscillator at 697 actually. Okay, envelope generator to amount at 440. The cutoff filter at 352. Resonance at 68. Okay, now for the first envelope generator, we got 0 attack and 0 sustain with a decay of 315. A release of 258. For the second envelope generator, again, attack and sustain at 0, a decay of 218. And a release of 100, which is already there. Okay. Now, let's turn on our delay modulator. With a time of 320, no feedback, a depth of 363 and a rate of 147, full wet, and algorithm of dimension. Now for the K70, we have a time of a synth 1/8 of time, a feedback of basically 210, dry wet of 313, and full stereo width. So this is our delay, it's quite simple. Finally, we have an equalizer which has a low shelving sorry, a low shelving at 66.4 hertz of minus 3.57 dBs. Then we have a boost at 516 hertz of 6.57 dBs, and then a high shelf above 1.44 kilohertz of 7.31 dBs. And this is our bass. We can now go to the drone. Okay. Again, this equalizer is just a sidechain one, don't worry about it. Now let's turn off the equalizer and bring back the default patch. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is drop the pregain to 738. Okay, and master to 866. 738 here, okay. Now, oscillator 2 at maximum, and detune it to 160. raise the sub-oscillator, go to the sub-oscillator, raise 1 octave and raise it to 697. Okay, and now on the filter, we want envelope generator 2 amount at 0, drop the cutoff filter to 196. Raise the resonance to 204. And now we go to the first envelope generator. 65 attack. Decay and sustain at maximum, and a release of 367. Second envelope generator. Attack 0, sustain 0, 216 on the decay. 218 should be okay. And a release of 100. Finally, we go to the chorus, turn the chorus on, have a rate of 311 and a depth of 609. Okay? And now we turn on our equalizer. And on this equalizer, I have a high pass filter at 52 Hertz. Then cut at around 126 Hertz of minus 5.58 dBs. Then I have a low shelf of minus 8.8 dBs at around 211 Hertz. And finally a high shelf of 7.31 dBs at 1.44 kilohertz. So we got our drone. Let's go to the last sound, which is the lead. This one. Turn off the equalizer, K70, and bring back the default patch. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is drop the pre-gain to 665. Raise the second oscillator to maximum. Detune it to 180. Now on the filter, drop the envelope generator 2 amount to 0. The cutoff to 306. 306. Resonance at 354. And since we want a little bit more of energy on the high zone of the spectrum, we're gonna change the filter from a low pass 4-pole to a low pass 2-pole. This will give us more content on the high frequencies. And now we go to the VCA and raise the keyboard to maximum. VCA controls the amplitude. Keyboard at maximum means that the higher the note, the higher the volume. Now for the first envelope generator, we want 0 attack, 0 sustain, and a decay of 363. Okay. A release of 267. And now for the second envelope generator, 0 attack, 0 decay again, 271 on the decay, and a release of 456. Now for some reverb, 206 amount, modulation of 492, a decay of 516, and a damping of 500. Finally, chorus, a rate of 311, and a depth of 609. Okay. And now we can turn on the tape delay of K70. It has a time of 1/8 dotted, a feedback of 210, dry wet of 357. And on this one, you have to turn on the ping pong, full wow, but with a stereo width of 417. Finally, we have this equalizer, which has a high-pass filter at 52 Hertz. Then we have a low shelving below 441 Hertz of minus 3.10 dBs. And finally, a high shelf above 454 kilohertz of 8 dBs. Remember that we also have this reverb here on the send, which I'm giving it about minus 12 dBs on the lead. We have 0 on the high strings and minus 15.3 on the back pad. So I think now we got everything ready for us to listen. So bear with me just a second while I get this ready for us to listen to. Okay. I think we got everything ready. So let's now listen.
You've been strong for so long. You learn to carry this on your own. Let me be someone you can lean on. I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm right here. You don't have to be so strong. You don't have to be so
And there you have it. And this was it, guys. I really hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. It was a fun tutorial to make. Remember that we have the Ableton session on the description below for you to download it. And you should definitely check that out because we have some automations and some of the synths that have nice nuances to the sound. And you should definitely check that out. I will now say that it would be awesome if you gave us a like and subscribe to our channel. That really gives us a boost. I also have to tell you that we're now running a giveaway on our Instagram page in which we're giving an iPad and some other goodies, so you should also definitely check that out. I will now say goodbye.